Hey guys, and welcome to Dad Life with me, Dan Rabs. Today we're going to go through the 8 things to try when your baby's unsettled. Now babies cry a lot. That's just what they do. They don't have any other way to communicate. But even so, it's not nice when they cry and you don't know what to do. This was exactly the thing that happened to us with my first baby when he was a newborn. Between the ages of 0 and 3 months, we found it quite hard to know what he needed and what would help to settle him down. And I have to admit, sometimes nothing worked and everything we tried just failed. But over the weeks and the months, we found some key things that worked in order to settle my baby down. And I'm going to share these 8 things you should try to settle down your baby when he's unsettled. But I have to note that I am not a medical expert in any way, shape or form. And if none of these things work and you're worried about your baby, you should always take them to the GP just to make sure that they're okay. So option number 1 is to feed them. In the initial stages of life, babies basically just do 3 things. They eat, they sleep, and they shit on repeat. So the first best thing to do is to check whether they're hungry. You can give them the bottle or the breast and hopefully they go for it and that helps them settle down. And a quick tip to check if they're hungry is to give them the back of your finger and put it in their mouth. And if they suck on it, it means that they're hungry. Option number 2 is to put them to sleep. As mentioned, babies do 3 things: eat, sleep, and shit on repeat. And the next best thing to try and do is to put them down to sleep in case they're tired. Newborns sleep between 12 to 16 hours in every 24-hour period. So they sleep a lot. So the next best thing to do is to try and put them down to sleep. And you gotta do it in whichever way works for you. From my experience and talking to other dads with newborns, every single baby is different. So something that might work to settle down and put my baby to sleep might not be the same for your baby. So you gotta do the thing that works for you. You can always check out one of my other videos in the links below on how we put my baby to sleep. The third option is to change their nappy. Part 3 of eat, sleep and shit is shit. So you gotta make sure that you check your baby's nappy. They may have done a sneaky poo or a sneaky pee, and nobody likes to sip in their own shit. So the next best thing to do is to check your baby's nappy and just change it. The fourth option, which is one of my favorites, is giving your baby some cuddles. Sometimes all the baby needs is a bit of cuddles from one of their parents. And almost all the research shows that any baby in the newborn stage can never have enough cuddles, and that there's nothing wrong with giving your baby as much cuddles as possible. Giving them a cuddle comforts them and also lets them know that they're safe. So there's nothing wrong with giving your baby a bit of a cuddle to try and settle them down. I used to have my little one sleep on me as much as he needed just to make sure that he settles down. The fifth option is to burp your baby or give them a gentle massage on their tummy. My little one had a bit of stomach problems in the initial few months, so we made it a priority to burp him at least once every time he had a feed. And in addition to that, we gave him a gentle massage just to help with the digestion and pass through any gas that he might have. There's a link below to a video on how to give your little baby a massage on their tummy. The sixth option is to go for a walk or a drive. Taking a short drive became a standard for us in the initial stages. There was something about the car ride that always put my little one to sleep. It felt like a huge hassle to get him in and out of the car. But there was nothing better than to look back and see him fall asleep for half an hour to an hour, and I would get some peace and quiet, and so would my wife. And I was only driving around the neighborhood, so I wasn't far from home. I'd go for a minimum of 15 minutes because it took him about that long to fall asleep. The seventh option is to give your baby a bath. A nice warm bath helps to soothe your baby. Don't add anything to it, like any soap or oils or salts, because that's just going to irritate your baby. And you got to make sure that the water is not too hot and not too cold. The recommendation is 36 to 38 degrees Celsius. The 8th option is to play some soothing music or white noise. You can easily find a ton of videos of white noises or soothing music on YouTube. I've added some links below to some of my favorite videos that we used. But again, I have to reiterate that I'm not a health professional, so if none of these things work, you gotta make sure you take your baby to the GP to get him checked out. You can never be too safe. And that's it. Try one of these 8 things and hopefully that helps to settle your baby down.